you got this young lady breaking records, doing things in an area that's generally dominated by men. So we want to know, like, what does that feel like? Like, what is that experience like being the first person of color, first female in that space dominating like that?
It's just something that I live. It's just something that I live. Hey, hey, hey. It's just something that I live that this world don't live. It's just something that I feel that this world don't feel. I gotta keep it real. J.E. Get 'em. Just something that I live that this world don't live.
Welcome to the Let Bob podcast. It's your boy Ant. Dave's not with us again today. Hopefully he'll get back on the show soon. We got a special guest for you. Man, I'm excited too, y'all. I'm gonna try to hold it in the road now. She ride bikes, y'all. Miss Dystany Spurlock. I'm talking about ride bikes fast. And you know your boy rider. So I'm so excited to get her on here and just really learn about her experience, how she got into riding bikes. Like, what's her favorite part? How fast she been? Because when you're a crotch rocket rider, everybody want to know, well, how fast have you been? So I want to know what that looks like. And I'm crazy excited because she's sponsored by BMW, baby. And I'm a BMW rider. So I'm just crazy excited. So let's get started. Miss Spurlock, how you doing today?
I am good, Aunt. How are you? Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, man. Hey, I'm glad you're on here, man. Like, for me, I just want to learn, like, how can I come up there with my S1000RR 2010 original world breaking all kinds of records when they drop? How can I get up and ride with you, man? We got to get on the interstate, see how fast you can go.
Oh, so you're trying to take me out of my element on the track and put me on the street. Okay. I mean, we can go whenever. It don't matter to me.
That's cool. That's cool. So how did you get into how did you get into riding bikes? Like that's usually a male dominated area. Like what got you into the space? Like what made you want to ride bikes?
So I grew up around it. My mom and my dad, they rode motorcycles. So literally I've been on the back of the bike since I was 3, 4 years old. And then my godfather, he drag raced motorcycles. So when I was 12, I went to the drag strip and I said, okay, this is what I want to do. Sign me up. Let's do this. So when I turned 16, my mom bought me my first motorcycle. I didn't get a first car. I got a first motorcycle.
Okay.
So that was a Gixxer 750 0506.
No. Oh, okay.
Yes. So I rode that for like 2 months. And then BMW came out with the S1000
Yes.
and Brock's Performance actually had the BMW Performance Center bike where they were trying to break the record on it, see how fast it can go. So that was in, I don't know, 2011, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
I said 2011, and I got to race it. I set the record on it within my third pass, and I became an ambassador for BMW, and the rest is history.
Man, like that's crazy. First of all, what's insane, I got a couple stories. You started on a 750 Gixxer. Those bikes were crazy fast. That was my first bike. I had a 90, mine was a 98 Shred.
Oh yeah,
Crazy fast, man. So you were 16. I was 18 when I started. You were 16 on a 750.
well, I originally learned on a ZX10, so 1,000 essentially.
Really?
Yeah, that was what I learned on, and then my mom bought me the 750. So yeah.
Wow, you came in the game strong. Like the bike game is just different. Like when I was most people start on the 600. I started on the 750, but the goal was to get to 1,000 Gixxer. I was a Gixxer fanatic, man. Like I was like Gixxer everything.
Yes.
But boy, when that BMW dropped, my partner, he got it first. And I was a Gixxer guy. He was like, man, the BMW this, BMW that. I'm like, man, I'm going to kill a BMW, man. You bring a BMW over here, we're going to eat.
Right.
I rode that bike one time. I've been a BMW rider ever since.
Ever since.
One time. It was just the quickness, just the ride in itself. It felt like a Gixxer in the way it was slim and light.
Mm-hmm.
And it just power, man. I raced that bike. I've beat so many different bikes on that thing. Only losses I've had was to other Gixxer or excuse me, other BMW 1000s are.
Well, I'm gonna say two things to that. One, safety first. Don't be drag racing and racing on the street. Bring it to the track. That's one.
Okay.
Two, have you ridden the new Gixxer 1000s?
I haven't, but I've raced one. I raced, and let me back up. I raced a 20. They started making those in 2018, I think. 2019. I raced
17.
one of those.
17.
I raced one of those.
Mhm.
I beat that one, but I haven't rode any of the later ones.
You need to.
Yeah,
we have two of them, and you know me, I'm an ambassador for BMW, hardcore BMW person to the core. But you need to ride a Gixxer 1000. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
All those new bikes, I can imagine they finally caught up. I mean, it's 12 years later.
That part.
All those new bikes, I imagine, are super fast now, man. Because I don't understand how much faster does a person want to go. I've took my bike to the limit, and I just couldn't imagine going any faster. I just don't understand why someone want to go much faster than that, right?
And the thing is, it's that same power, like how that BMW was when they first came out, but now it's on a lighter bike.
Oh man!
So you get, it's just even more.
Oh man!
But it's not in a scary way.
See, I gotta bring it back because if it was up to me, we just talk bikes this whole episode. That's all I'd be on. Like, well, tell me about this bike or that bike. But the point of us having you on here is because Let Bob is about four things. Our four pillars are community, education, finance, and ownership. And so it's our goal to highlight people like yourself because most times we don't never know you. Like nobody ever heard of you, or until you peak in your career, regular people won't know you're out there. So what our podcast is about is bringing people like you to the forefront so we can show like you got this young lady breaking records, doing things in an area that's generally dominated by men. So we want to know, like, what does that feel like? Like, what is that experience like being the first person of color, first female in that space dominating like that? How's that feel?
So what you're referring to is I'm the first woman of color, African-American woman, to win a 460 index final.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. That happened back in 2019. But to answer your question, what is it like being a woman in a pretty much male-dominated sport? To me, it's normal. All my life I've been in male-dominated sports. I played football in middle school and high school, of course, with all the guys. I drive tractor trailers for a living. That's pretty much male-dominated. Racing motorcycles, that's male-dominated. So to me, that's my normal. It's normal to me, but it's pretty cool though, because you get to kind of beat up on the guys a little bit. Guys don't like losing to a girl, so it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I can see that. We wear our feelings on our chest a little bit. You get spanked by a female on a bike. I'm telling you, don't want to go back to the huddle of your men with that one because they ain't gonna let you at the end of it. But you had the advantage though, I assume, because you're lighter, you're light, right? So with that, you're always gonna have the advantage in most cases. And depending on how fast you'll push that bike, breaking records, you got to be someone who's like, hey, I'm going full capacity. Give me as much as it got.
That's right. I'm very locked in. I'm not just out there to be a pretty face. My goal is to first and foremost safety. Be safe, have fun, and break some records, win some races, win some championships, and be that example for those other boys and girls, or even men and women that inspire to race, and show them, hey, if I can do it, you can too.
No, that's good. That's good. And we encourage that. Don't let the current circumstance, deter you from doing what you want to do. Like you said, you've been riding since you was a young kid. So it's something that's just always been a part of who you are. And it's exciting to see you kind of live that out. So what's the goal for Dystany? Like, what are you trying to achieve in the space? What's the ultimate goal?
Okay, like this can be a very long, drawn out answer, but in the motorcycle world, my goal is to get to NHRA Pro Stock motorcycle. For those that are not familiar with, the motorcycle drag racing world, it's essentially equivalent to like your NASCAR, but
Okay.
just for motorcycles in drag racing. And it's called Pro Stock Motorcycle. On the motorcycles that I race currently, are faster than the motorcycles in NHRA, but that has always been my goal, to get on that highest platform and then allow that to open up doors, so that way I can potentially be a team owner and open up a foundation to help other kids get started drag racing, whether it's cars or motorcycles, junior dragsters, whatever, and just see where it takes me.
That's interesting. You said something that is one of our pillars, so I would definitely have to piggyback off of that. So, what does it take to become an owner of a team? What do you have to do in order to achieve that?
So it just depends on what level you're on. So if you're on the level where I am, literally, as long as you get a motorcycle and got the funds to do it, you can be a team owner. But on NHRA level, it's going to take some backing. You're going to need as many sponsors as possible, because not only you're not just East Coast based or West Coast based, you're going from coast to coast, north, south, just all over the United States. So you need to be able to fund that. You need to be able to make sure you have the proper equipment, backup parts, spare tires, all of this stuff. So you need a strong backing.
See, that bag is basically what you're saying. You got to have a bag to get in that space. Huh?
Yes, you do.
That's understandable. That's generally how they keep us out.
But you too need a good team around you too, because just because you have the money, that's great, but if you don't have a crew chief or people in your pit to help you make sure those motors are together, it's purposeless. So
Okay. So to that point, owning a team, you gotta have a significant amount of financial literacy to get the bag, to shape the bag, right?
that's right.
So, with you being in the space, are you working on becoming as financially literate as possible so that you know how to journey into ownership? And if so, like what do you do and how do you focus on literacy?
Yeah. So like right now, even though I'm not at the highest level as possible, I'm making sure that I'm building my platform to be as such. So Dystany Spurlock Racing is a LLC. So that's first and foremost. Branding, making sure everything is where it needs to be. So that way, when you get these sponsors that approach you and say, hey, we want to back you, everything's already done. Because the first thing they're going to say is, what's your EIN? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
have one. No, we're good. We have savings, we have bank accounts, everything is where it needs to be. But I just make sure I stay up on the know for
Okay.
everything when it comes to being a business owner in the motorsport space.
And that's good because you said something that I think we definitely want to highlight. It's two different things to be a team owner and a business owner. See, the
Yes.
business owns a team. You could be a team owner and not have your business side together, and it could be financially detrimental to you in the long run. But if you understand business, to her point, then you can, at the time when you're ready to become a team owner, you could buy out with your business if you structure
That's
things
right.
right. So what you're telling me is you have good financial structure.
Yes, I do.
Good.
My goal has always been to be an entrepreneur. And
Okay,
one thing my manager told me years ago, know the business before you get in the business.
that's good.
And at this point I was 17 years old. I'm thinking, okay, we can just go out here and race. He's like, no, we're going to set up this LLC. We're going to open your bank account. We're going to get your business credit established. And I'm like, what is this? I
Yes.
had no idea this was even a thing. So I'm like, oh, so I can't just race. Like I have to be a big girl and learn this stuff. So that
Ah,
was pretty cool learning that. And now it's come over to, my everyday life, being an entrepreneur. I have two other businesses that I run and, just learning as I go.
no, that's good. I'm excited to hear that. We always want to know that it's not just about the focus area, right? No matter what industry you're in, what sport you play, it all has a foundation on, do you understand how to run your business? I'm a big advocate of, I treat my personal life like a business. I run
Yes.
my household like a business, because proper business structure dictates how long you can live on the finances you're generating, right? It's not about how much money you make, it's what you do with the money that you
That's
make.
right.
So I have another question for you.
Mhm.
How many areas of opportunity is it to generate revenue in racing? I mean, I just know the betting way. Like we used to bet on the street racing. We just bet.
You got 20 on the left lane.
Yeah, there you go.
That's so funny. So one thing that I utilize is merchandise.
Okay,
You can sell so much merchandise on the racetrack and e-commerce.
okay.
For me, so literally, soon as I make a drop, say, hey, new merch, it's gone. And
Wow.
I think it's awesome. That's so awesome because I can use that money to help in anything in my, in my racing form.
Yeah,
Also you can, I mean, it's sponsors, of course, is one way
yeah.
to generate. So it's not coming out your pocket. You can do fundraisers, you can do giveaways. It's so many things you can do. It's just, how you want to go about it. But I love doing fundraisers and we have some giveaways coming up. So stay on the lookout.
Oh, yeah. Put me on the lookout. I heard you got a race coming up too. I think in March, right?
Uh no, April.
April. Okay.
The second week in April, second or third week in April, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, but I will be doing some testing probably the end of February.
I'm just saying what I gotta do. I want to be out there with the team. I'm trying to be out there, like right there, like right by the bike, smelling the racing fuel, getting hyped up, trying not to get on the bike myself. Right.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to be there? I want to be there and see you in action. How do you what do I need to do to come and see you in action?
So you can first start, if you don't know my schedule, just go to my website, which is DystynySpurlock.com. But I think our first race is going to be at Maryland International Raceway for the
Okay.
XDA series. So literally just go to the track, pay your admission, come to my pit area. Most of the time we're in Vendor Midway and just hang out. Literally.
Just chill, right? I'm
Yeah.
coming. I'm there. I'd already told my team when they told me we were doing this. It's like, hey, when the next race? I want to be
Yeah.
at the race. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold
Nah.
y'all to this,
Okay. Hey, I'm telling you, like my family, my dad, that's how I got in the race. My dad's been racing forever. He's not racing anymore, he's older, but that's how I got the gene. I'm a speed demon, man. Like because of what I do now professionally,
Mhm.
I can't ride like I used to. But I love the speed, man. The only thing I've ever done, close that gave me the feeling of riding a motorcycle is skydive. That's the only thing. I can't do that either now in my professional career. I can't do it. They just take both of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
skydiving is fun. I've done
yeah,
it once.
very fun. I love the rush of that too.
Yeah.
So another question for you: why do you think it's only a few of us in the space? Like, why do you think it's more at that level? Like on the street racing, like what more of what I was accustomed to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we dominate, but in the professional realm of it, why do you think it's not a lot of us in there?
One, I feel like at the lower level, a lot of people still don't know about motorsports like drag racing. You hear about your football, baseball, basketball, but I feel like it's not pushed out into our society enough for us to even get involved in at the beginner level to even get there to the higher level. But also, why do I feel like there's not a lot of us in the super pro levels? Because backing, it takes so much money, and a lot of the racers that are there, a lot of them are born into it, or either they just have access to people that has those large amounts of money to give them through sponsorships to be able to get to that level. So that's one thing that I'm trying to do with my foundation that I'm working on, is showing, going to these inner city schools or just schools in general, middle school, elementary, high school, colleges, showing them what I do and bringing more awareness to motorsports. So.
That's so crazy. That sounds like me with coding. I do that, trying to
Oh,
bring
you do
more
coding?
awareness. Yeah, I code. I'm a software. So my natural state was software engineering before I started letbob. and got into trading and investing in the stock market, I was working as a coder at different organizations, building apps for the phone and building apps for companies themselves. But I got into investing in the stock market. And so I wanted to use my skills to create a product to help people who look like me be able to invest in the stock market, but not have to actually know how to buy and sell the stock or know what stock to pick. And so that's how Let Bob was born. Yeah.
And see, sign me up, because I've always wanted to know so much about stocks, ever since I was in middle school. But again, the information isn't necessarily readily available to us, especially in, where I grew up. So I think that is amazing. Keep going, keep pushing it. I'm a big supporter of it.
Oh yeah, nah, you're the perfect user, because what Bob does is protect people like yourself, right? The stock market, it's a very dangerous place if you're not knowledgeable. You can financially dangerous. You could lose all your money in one day, for an example. I mean, I'm sure you've heard a lot of the Robin Hood stories.
Yes.
And so it was very important to us as an organization that when we put our product in your hand, it was more focused on protecting your capital that you already have.
Yes.
So we don't let your lack of knowledge about buying and selling stocks or what stocks you pick, we don't let that determine your outcome, right? We have what we call financial guardrails around your account so that we don't allow you to make poor investment choices financially. You can pick a wrong stock, but we limit how much money you can, invest in that stock if you're trading for yourself and not letting Bob do it for you.
Right.
Prevent you from, buying too much and putting yourself in a bad situation. Yeah. So you would love it.
It sounds like I would love it.
Yeah, no, it's cool. You just put some money in it and let Bob do his thing. Bob, like you on the track, you just stand back and watch. Hey, I'll give you a good show. Sometimes he racing, sometimes he ain't.
Right.
We know what he's doing though.
I think that's awesome. I like that though, because for me, I tend to be a little aggressive sometimes when it comes to money, and I feel like the trading in, stocks and all that can be a little, what's the word I want to look for? Just fun, to say the least. And I feel like I'm like, let me just a little bit more.
I'm telling you, because I'm a fellow bike rider as well. If you trade like you ride bikes, you probably will get hammered.
Yeah, see?
There's no room for error.
Look, I'm gonna let Bob do it.
That's the attitude you should have. No, we're excited. We actually brought another product to the marketplace where we work with individuals who are, higher earning individuals that don't understand about how to spend their money, because we have this product where we can project your wealth based on how you spend. So if you're making, let's say, $100,000, we can look at the way you spend money and tell you how long that money is going to last you. And you find that a lot of people, they just don't understand how to properly spend their money.
That's right. Money management.
Correct. And that's launching soon. So when that drop, we're gonna look out, hit you up and say, hey, look, we got this little product we think you might like. Since you're so busy racing and becoming a star, let us help you out a little bit.
No, listen, I need as much help as possible. I used to think I was Superwoman and I used to think I could do everything myself. No, now it's time to outsource. So when the product drops, let me know.
That's good. That's smart. But no, so we won't hold you any longer.
Okay.
We've enjoyed discussing what all you have going, learn about drag racing, just trying to help get the message out. We're going to take this podcast and deliver it to many viewers as possible, so more people who look like us can learn about the opportunity in drag racing, the different ways you can generate income, and more importantly, how to have proper business structure like Ms. Spurlock do.
That's right.
Do you want to give your social so everybody can find you?
Yes, so you can go to my website, which is DystyanySpurlock.com, and that is Dystany Spurlock. And I'm on all social platforms such as YouTube and Facebook is Dystany Spurlock Official, and Instagram and TikTok is Dystany Spurlock. So that's how you can find me.
All right, y'all go and find her, follow her, support this young lady as she break records and do her thing in the race world. I'm gonna be at the show in April. I'm gonna let y'all know if she made me sit in the stands too, y'all. She don't let me come down to the pit. We're gonna be tripping because I want to be in the
No,
pit.
you'll be in the pit.
You got the fumes right there. By the
you'll be.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna hold you to it now.
All
right. Thank you all. It's been another great episode of Let Bob Podcast. You can find us on all social media at We Are Let Bob. You can find me at I Am Let Bob. And remember, if you haven't downloaded our Robo Advisor app today and you're trying to get invested in the stock market, please go to both app stores, download Let Bob. That's LET space BOB. Find the app, put it on your phone, put a little money in it, watch Bob do his thing.
Get 'em.